Okay, so next on the PC other bits, we had Oxygen Not Included, which was made by the people who
this
make
is
Don't
from
Starve.
Clay. Literally, it was a 20-second teaser, I think, just announcing it's in development, and that was about it. And it's a bit kind of survival, a bit kind of base management. This looks like what everybody wanted Fallout Shelter to be.
I mean, the one thing I kind of noticed is all of their games seem to have like names which are like, this is kind of a way that you can die.
Yeah.
Don't starve. Oxygen not included. It's just like, oh, well, I'm going to asphyxiate. Like, what's it going to be next? Like, you're careful, your spleen doesn't rupture. Like,
They did do a whole lot on kind of VR. Showed off stuff like Giant Cop, where you play.
I thought you said giant cock for a second there. It's like the VR game Giant Cock. It was like,
No,
well, it's only a
that's the
matter
VR
of time.
porn. That's a
Go
different
on.
podcast completely.
Oh, dear.
No,
So
but
Giant Cop.
Giant Cop. They also had stuff on Killing Floor 2. They showed off a new update for that, but they also showed off a new VR only experience for that, which was Killing Floor Incursion.
Yep, and then Serious Sam. And
Serious
this
Sam,
is where
yeah.
it gets interesting, because the Serious Sam devs, they were the ones who said, you know, Oculus came to us and offered us a fuck ton of money to make it exclusive, and we said no because we don't agree with exclusivity in this kind of situation. I think it's good to have, you know, a competitive market, and that's why this whole kind of VR shitstorm has started, is because of Serious Sam devs saying like, yeah, this is what happened with us, and then so now you see, oh, Superhot's exclusive. You know, Killing Floor, I believe, is exclusive.
Also on the tech side of things, they did have one of the heads of AMD there, because obviously AMD were the sponsors of PC Gaming's stream and that, and she actually showed off the RX 480, which had already been shown off at Computex, which is their kind of, I wouldn't say entry level, it's that kind of, they're pitching this as the ideal graphics card for people that want to do VR but on a budget.
In a backpack?
Well, yeah, there was the backpack stuff, but this is their $200 graphics card. They had Cliffy B on the sofa there talking about Lawbreakers, and I know, Fran, you mentioned you've already signed up for the beta.
Yeah, that's another one you can sign up for the beta for. And I know that they've got their like beta timeline, I think, all like laid out, so you can kind of get an idea of what's going on. But I think it's meant to be, Lawbreaker's actually meant to be free. No, it was meant to be free to play.
It was going to be free to play. Now it's going the paid model, but it's I want to know your opinion on this, because obviously you've played a bunch of Overwatch, and this is obviously going into that kind of same market of character-based shooter. Do you think it will manage it? Because obviously that there is.
I think they maybe should have stuck with free to play, just because that could have been their selling point. You know, like, oh, you like Overwatch? Well, here's free Overwatch. You know, like, well, not necessarily it is Overwatch, but basically having an option where people who can't afford to buy Overwatch can still play class-based shooters. At the moment, the game that people are kind of playing is Paladins, but that doesn't really fill that niche. Other new stuff, we had Vampire with a
Vampire.
Y. You sound like the guy from Magicker. Oh, I'm definitely not a vampire.
It looks like it's third-person action-y type stuff. Obviously, the whole idea is you've been infected with the vampiric virus, and you're having to make moral choices on who you kill to stay alive.
The thing to note about Vampire, which is what's put it on my radar, is that it's from Don't Nod Entertainment, and they made Life is Strange. So in terms of, you know, moral decision making and that side of things, I think that they could write a very good story.
There was a couple of other things. Arma 3 were there with their new update. There was Turing Test, which was a kind of sci-fi first-person puzzler, which was a bit kind of Portal-esque type idea. Dual Universe kind of looked interesting. That was almost a No Man's Sky, but you could kind of literally create a spaceship right in front of you, climb in the spaceship, and zip off into space. Going forward, anything that's on Xbox One is pretty much guaranteed to be on Windows 10 as well.
You don't even need an Xbox.
Yeah.
You can join the club. You can join the club without one.
I did genuinely think that, like, oh, if everything's coming out on Windows, like, do I actually need an Xbox now?
Yeah.
Like honestly.
Yaki, you need an Xbox One S, and then a year's time you need an Xbox Scorpio.
But even then, I don't need an Xbox S because I can just get the fucking Scorpio. Like, what am I buying here?
No, the best part was they opened their show by like showing off the Xbox S, which is like the small version of the Xbox, but like small and powerful, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they ended it within an hour. They did announce another console. I was just like, what?
This show has gone on so long. We've already gone through a whole development cycle. We're releasing a new console by the end of the show. One other last tech bit. You can now have customizable controllers.
That's the best part of all of this tech.
And you can engrave your name in it.
If you are as vain as me, you can have an Xbox controller that's every color under the sun with your name engraved onto it, and then make a second one that's really boring looking and write scrub on it. Brilliant. It's brilliant. The first game they announced was Gears of War 4, and I am a massive Gears of War fan, especially their Horde mode, which is like 4 players versus the world, basically. And that is a huge amount of fun. And I used to play it a lot on Xbox, and I'm just excited to be able to play that with PC friends, and also to be able to play it on PC with Xbox friends, because I have friends obviously who play on Xbox, but because I'm not, like I say, there so often, play less. And I think this is a huge move, and I think Gears of War, or Gears of 4 as I've been calling it, is going to be awesome. And there's a new controller that has a Gears of War. I'm a sucker for controllers.
How many controllers are you going to have by the end of this year?
I only have 2 Xbox One controllers, and one of them is boring.
Moving on to something completely different, Recore. They showed off some Recore.
Am I the only one who is actually not interested in the slightest?
Yes.
Please, convince me. I don't understand why.
I'm kind of neutral on this, so Fran,
so
you
you
take
have
it.
this core, and you can insert it into different robots and use them to traverse the environment and help you out. So you can have a little cool dog robot who you can send to fetch things, or you can make an awesome freaking gorilla robot who'll smash things.
And they've all got different names, I noticed. What was the big gorilla type one was called Duncan or something? Was I imagining that?
I mean, the gorilla in Overwatch is called Winston, so I feel like it's now a theme. You've got to name your gorillas. And then you have one that looks like a portal turret, and everyone knows how much we love I just think it's a really interesting idea.
Maybe robots don't quite excite me, but dragons that I can't ride, now that's pretty fucking cool. And the cool thing is, it's basically
Devil May Cry with reptiles.
Yeah, it's like Devil May Cry meets Attack on Titan meets Final Fantasy meets fire-breathing big guys. The guys keeps referring to the dragon as big guy, come on, let me...
The thing that annoyed me about this was not only the guy looks like the new Dante in that, it's just that I'm going to put on my Beats headphones to do this
fight. I saw him he put on his headphones. Scalebound it's got a single player and it's got a multiplayer. So there's a single player story where you play as this character called Drew, I believe, and then there's also a 4-player multiplayer co-op, which is what they showcased during the Xbox one, where they showed you beating a boss with your co-op, your 4 buddies, and then they're 4 fucking dragons, and it's why wouldn't you want to do that?
Yeah, but the dragons seemed pretty insignificant in the fight.
But I think that's important, because you don't want, if you're including super OP dragons,
if you're gonna have a fucking dragon, you want to ride it and destroy shit with it.
Well, I believe you can call in your dragon to do different kind of bits and bobs. I don't know.
I'm imagining it to be kind of like the same level of Titanfall, where you don't want a pilot to feel shitty. You don't want to feel useless outside of your mech, and you don't want to feel useless without your dragon, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because otherwise it'd be horribly boring. Yeah, Sea of Thieves, which is the pirate open sea, not open world, open sea.
Open sea.
Yeah. Game.
I can just imagine us playing this and utterly fucking up and sinking.
It looks.
We're going to be the ones sinking the ship.
I have to say that I really admire how they advertised the game, by getting people from the community to be the ones to basically showcase it.
The actors.
I still think it was well done.
Genuine people.
It wasn't.
So why are you so bitter?
No, they were not genuine people. They were reading off a script. Come on.
I don't even care. It was a good way to showcase
They weren't swearing at one another.
It doesn't matter, John. And either way, we aren't going to be the ones sinking our ship. We're going to be the ones on the beach having a fucking drinking contest.
Yes, that's true. That is going to be us. We're going to be the ones getting rat-arsed and not actually getting on the boat.
But I think it looks quite fun. For example, the person who's steering the boat can't actually see where the boat is going because the sail is in the way. So you have to communicate with your teammates, where the fuck am I going, and make sure you don't hit a rock. And
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
if that's
like,
us, we're just gonna be, yeah, you're fine. You just keep going. You know, they're not gonna hit anything. Not so much an Xbox kind of published game, but one very much tied to Xbox right from the start is Dead Rising. They did show off some stuff of Dead Rising 4. We get to see Frank West back again, and it looks ridiculous, which is what we want from a Dead Rising game. I mean, that was one of my bugbears with the initial kind of reveal of Dead Rising 3. The fact that it looked kind of so drab, and this is the gritty take on Dead Rising.
No,
it did turn out to be.
It didn't turn out to be like that at all.
But that reveal was a bit kind of, okay, we're trying to go serious. No, you don't want to go serious in Dead Rising.
Yeah, no,
this is doing it right. It has the happy, cheerful Christmas tune playing whilst you're smashing zombies in the head.
I'm not gonna lie. For a while, I did think it was going to be like some sort of die-hard like zombie thing.
John is so happy.
They did do a whole bit on indie idea Xbox type stuff. They did their scissor reel, which did actually look quite cool. The different games available there. They highlighted Inside.
It's kind of like a horror platformer, so basically similar to Limbo.
It looks cool. We still don't know too much about it, but it's one of those you're going to play it through and experience it as you do, sort of thing. Yes, you did mention it. We Happy Few. This I've been keeping an eye on for a while because it looks like some trippy shit. It looks like BioShock meets 1960s version of The Prisoner. This is so up my street, it's parked in my driveway.
It looks creepy. It looks like everyone has basically jumped up on Prozac, and then like this guy is like, you know what, I actually don't really like Prozac
I don't want my Prozac today, please.
and then it descends into like creepy madness. It looks... I think they presented it perfectly, and I think it's one of those indie games that a lot of people will buy. I think it'll do very well.
Yeah, I mean, there is such a heavy kind of BioShock vibe to it. I'm not talking BioShock Infinite. It's got that kind of colourful BioShock Infinite look to it, but it's the slightly more disturbing, creepy original BioShock. And yes, more of this, please.
Yeah, no, I was actually actually We Happy Few is probably the favorite thing to come out of E3 for me so far.
Yeah,
and I was so hyped. I decided I just sat there spending the rest of my evening just watching gameplay videos of it. And having said that, it's really not what I expected. It's really
a lot of people are saying you're probably best not looking at too much of the early gameplay type stuff because it's not really going to be that representative of what the game is like. But it's going to be one of these. It's going to be in early access for about a year because they're going for a roguelike or roguelite approach to it. So from what I've seen of gameplay stuff, you kind of spawn into a world and the village. This is why I've got this kind of idea. It's very much along the lines of the kind of the TV show The Prisoner. You're trapped in the village, but the village seems to change every time you respawn in, and it's that trying to finding a way to escape and that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the gameplay the trailer or gameplay footage they showed at the Microsoft event was a bit more kind of story based.
Yeah, which was what I kind of I'm leading. I'm hoping that it'll end up being in terms of like a quite relatively linear.
Yeah,
like it can be like relatively roguelike. That's fine, but it's not how I want to explore the world and the universe that they've kind of made for themselves.
Yeah.
Good, and that about wraps up Xbox, I think.
Yeah, there was also Halo Wars 2, which is...
I don't care about that, John.
Yeah,
they were talking about how people have been asking about Halo Wars 2. Who's been asking about Halo Wars 2? Stop lying to us.
Yeah, we're back talking about PlayStation, and yeah, I think it was the slickest show there. Really.
No, I agree.
We're not the slickest show. I fully admit that. We're not up to Sony's professional standards.
We're not.
Yeah, we're not Sony. So they kicked things off with the God of War 4.
Yes, and that was that. Sony had several moments where throughout the show they did kind of these unexpected things, and that was the first one. They kick it off with God of War. You know, there's this kid playing, and then walks into this hut, and then fucking Kratos there. Old man Kratos, Father of the Year. Now, son, let's go out and kill something.
So it's focusing on Norse mythology, this one,
Yeah,
whereas previous
yeah.
ones have looked at
Yeah.
Greek.
Another thing on the kind of whole production value, the fact is, they start it off, they don't even introduce it, they just go straight to the gameplay, but they're showing it is actual live gameplay. They did this whole multi-camera thing, showing, look, here's the big screen of it playing, and then we've got two angles on the guy actually playing the game, and then we've got shots of the orchestra playing the music. So it all felt like, yeah, this is very, very much live.
And I think that adds to how you said the experience was very slick.
Yeah.
And I mean, the game looked pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Although I don't think elks grow that big. But yeah, Days Gone. If you look at how they've stylized it, it looks like one word. Is another zombie apocalypse kind of game.
Yeah, well, I mean, initially, the trailer they showed at the start, I was writing down in my notes, so this is Last of Us meets Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, like
Because you're basically part of a biker gang at the end of the apocalypse, but they weren't showing too much about what exactly has caused the apocalypse or what the kind of the threat is. And then it gets into the gameplay at the end of the show, and oh look, it's zombies. Lots of zombies, but it's zombies. It's a zombie survival game.
I mean, I think with The Last of Us, what kind of started to tug at your heartstrings was really Ellie.
Yeah.
And the kind of the relationship they created there. And I did think when they showed it at the beginning that it looked like Last of Us, but I think I kind of understand why they put the gameplay at the end to then be like, hey, by the way, this isn't Last of Us.
No.
Because they probably realized that was the impression that they were creating.
Yeah.
And I mean, the one thing I will say is that like that guy needs to stop fucking turning around and shooting the zombies.
No,
and
just
work
run.
on running. Like he's like, oh, I'll just shoot. Oh, that one. Like he let them get like so close to him because he kept being like, right now we'll turn around and shoot them a bit. It's like, no, fly, stop.
Run, you fools!
Then we had Last Guardian.
Oh
His
my
wings
God.
were broken.
Broken. And then you saw an evil guardian who was
Yeah,
about to
I
fuck
was going to say, that's false advertising. He's clearly not the last Guardian. There's another one.
God.
Because it was in Horizon Zero Dawn,
Yeah.
which was that robot.
I mean,
tribe
we
lady
had seen
game.
some combat stuff in the last... Was it last E3 or was it PlayStation Experience or something? We saw the kind of the combat taking down this kind of huge robot T-Rex type thing. This was a bit more of navigating the environment, then ending with a fight, and it was fighting a corruptor or something. But it showed the different variety in the combat, because it was a lot of, okay, craft a mine on the fly, drop the mine, you're fighting on the back of a robot cow type thing. There was a lot of kind of dodge rolling involved as well, so it's more Dark Souls. There's lots of dodge rolling.
No, and the fact she had to break its arms before she could tie it down, and then she tied it down to stop it jumping, and I think that the gameplay was interesting. I mean, I always love me a female protagonist. Like, let's be realistic, and Sony actually are really good at having a balance between all the different kinds of protagonists they did from that perspective. If you want variation in your characters.
The trailer for Detroit Become Human.
I'm actually a big fan of Heavy Rain, and I'm actually really excited for this. From what I saw of it, it looked like it could have been some sort of really arcadey choice game, because they showed the entire branch and in its entirety. So I was wondering, maybe you have this one case, and you just keep solving it in different ways over and over and over and over and over and over again. And you
Well,
get,
in this case, we already know there's at least two characters in it, because this time we're introduced to My Name is Connor. Whether that's John Connor, they're trying to lean on that as kind of canon type thing. That little nod to it. But I mean, in the previous reveal, and obviously the tech demo type 1, it was a female character that's kind of supposed to be the first android to kind of question her existence and things like that. So
yeah, I think it looks interesting. I think it all depends on the execution, because one of the things that annoys me the most about these games where they act like you have your decisions matter is most of the time most of the decisions don't matter. It's just if there's an overarching
it's a decision tree.
Whereas this one, it literally looked like there's so many different ways it could go down that your decisions actually do have weight, and that's something that I think is very long-winded to make, because it's hard to make a long game with a lot of decisions. And most people, if it's got a lot of decisions, it'll be a short game, and then people complain it's too short. Or if it's a choice game that's long, people complain that your choices don't matter. So I think this one, it all comes down to kind of how they execute this kind of aspect of the game. I wish I could bleed blue. Then the tampon adverts would be real. the actors in those are androids. Fucking conspiracy, John.
Confirmed.
Figured it out. Oh, dear. Moving swiftly on from that topic.
I mean, I don't know what there's to say about Crash Bandicoot. They're re-releasing 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I mean,
And they're putting him in Skylanders.
yeah, I mean, it was another one of those cock tease moments, wasn't it? They had the guy come out on stage and they had the little animated Crash silhouette,
And the music.
Everyone's going, shit, new Crash, new Crash. Oh no, it's a remaster, and we're selling you some plastic toys through Activision.
Yeah, I'm cross. Yaki was hype. I think Yaki is wrong.
What? I'm just hyped. Listen. It just means that we're one step closer to maybe getting a new Crash.
Why didn't they just make a new Crash? Oh my god, John, that fucking graphic is terrifying.
Oh my god,
That's the best one I could find.
That was the one from the Skylanders. That's how they made him look in Skylanders. He looks wrong. That's not how he's meant to look. And then we have VR, so PlayStation are obviously jumping on the VR bandwagon.
But again,
VR.
it had another ooh moment, because the way they intro VR, they said, "Oh look, here's the bit where we talk about PlayStation VR. Watch this," and then it cuts into this very creepy, almost PT-esque video.
Oh, that was horrific.
It looked
with the kitchen, and the soup,
and the roaches, and just
nobody has gotten into that kitchen to make a sandwich for a very long time. But I agree, it looked super PT playable teaser.
And Capcom have basically gone, okay, if Konami aren't doing it, we will.
Yeah,
and
it turned out to be Resident Evil 7.
Resident Evil 7, yes. And I haven't got the graphics for it, but they've actually shown the side-by-side posters of the Japanese one, obviously, Biohazard, and Resident Evil in Western markets. I think this is going to be the new PT. Well, it is, because the demo was available straight away. People had played the shit out of it. They discovered lots of little Easter eggs and secrets and things like that. It's only a very short demo compared to what PT was. I think you can literally just play through it and get it done in 12 minutes or something like that. But it is all about the exploration, and visually it does look a lot like PT.
Speaking of movies, Spider-Man, as I like to call him, Spider-Man is now getting another video game.
It looks actually really good.
It does. I mean, it's from the guys at Insomniac. Doesn't show any kind of traditional villains in it. All it shows is Spider-Man beating up.
No, you're saying it.
Spider-Man. It's either that or Spooderman. Beating up Yakuza. So whether there's going to be another reveal trailer or something like that further down the line, in beating up Green Goblin or something, but there's got to be one of the traditional villains in it. You just know it.
This is the one I thought we should end on. Death Stranding.
Yep.
Yes.
I think that's the best topic for PlayStation to end on.
It's a case of its Father of the Year award goes to Norman Reedus.
So this is Kojima's new game, and he came out on stage, and honestly,
hello, I'm back.
How great was it that he came out to the Mad Max soundtrack? How amazing was that?
Traditional Kojima. The trailer is batshit crazy, and we have no idea what the game is.
There was a naked guy, there was a naked baby, there were dead whales, there were creepy black handprints. Just watch it, I think. That's as far as I can
What the fuck's happening? I want this now.
I mean, personally, I thought it was quite obvious that it's some sort of, thing about oil spills.
Oh, you think it's a commentary on...
There's going to be an ecological theme there, But with the name Death Stranding, and then you see those kind of 5 figures in the skyline, is it Angel of Death and Four Horsemen type thing revealed there? Because obviously Kojima's liked his kind of Four Horsemen kind of characters in the Metal Gear games.
Well, because a strand is the shore of the sea, right? It's like a shore.
Yeah.
So, and obviously we had all the beach themes, so I'm not entirely sure how that's tying in, with death, and there were those 5 floating things in the air
tied around his neck.
Oh, was there?
There's USB drives on his neck.
Oh, the USB drives.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I thought that was just a necklace.
I can prove they're USB drives.
How? Can you make them? Can you turn them around 3 times before they fit into your computer?
John's going to turn around and he's Norman Reedus.
That would be such a good reveal. The Kilobit's face reveal. Surprise! Did you change the graphic? Are we waiting on it updating on our end? Oh no, he's gone somewhere! He's gone somewhere!
I've gone there to prove there's a USB drive. Look, little USB drive.
Oh, he's got one that looks just like it.
Exactly.
Oh!
It's all right. It hasn't got Kojima Productions on the side of it or anything.
No, it's actually got Konami on.
Yeah.
It's the secret ending for Metal Gear Solid 5. I feel like this next section might be a little bit brief.
What, like the reveal of Zelda? A minute and a half. That's all we need for this next section.
Yeah, pretty much. So Nintendo were last. I feel like this entire conference has just been bookended by crappy conferences, to be honest.
Well, again, this wasn't a conference. Nintendo don't do conferences anymore.
No.
But
it wasn't really a Nintendo Direct either.
It wasn't. I mean,
I love me some Nintendo Direct.
Previous years, I mean, last year we had fucking Muppets. They kicked off the show with Muppets. They go all out. They go high production. They go very, very cool. This was just Reggie talking into a camera, and let's go over to the treehouse and talk for 45 minutes about Pokemons.
They've got a woodpecker Pokemon, John.
Listen, that Donald Trump weasel, John.
There's a Donald Trump weasel?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to find this.
John,
I've already got the graphic.
Thank you.
Oh my god, it's amazing! Oh, if I get one, I want to call it the Donald. So we covered the Pokemon.
And
then
we're on to the Breath of the Wind.
Breath of Wind. So the new Zelda game, Breath of the Wild.
I think that's right.
The most notable feature being that Link can now jump. I mean, previously, to be fair, he could jump backwards. So you could jump away from an enemy. But now he is no longer defeated by chest-high walls or, like, fences. Saying that he is now defeated by using his sword.
Yes, you now have weapon degradation, which it's almost coming full circle. This case of Dark Souls was saying it was like a darker take on the whole Zelda type exploration and dungeon crawling and all that. This is taking elements from Dark Souls, and weapons degrade. You have to kind of constantly swap out what's the best weapon for the situation. You're taking enemies' weapons and all that kind of thing. So this is a lighter, cheerier Dark Souls even.
I think it sounds like they're really innovating with Zelda though this time around.
I mean,
I'm sure you'll still have 8 dungeons.
Yeah.
I have to say though, like, speaking as someone who's never played a Zelda game before, I think
your opinion doesn't matter.
I was gonna say this looks like a really nice place for me to start playing, because from what I know, the storylines are all a bit bizarre in how they all interlink with each of the games. And this is the first real new game we've had in a while now. Yep. And it's just so different. Like, I don't know, it just looks like something I could just play for literally hours.
I mean, they're going with the open world type thing, and you can basically go anywhere, do whatever you like.
Yeah.
You have to watch out for your stamina while climbing up walls, otherwise you're going to fall to your death and all that kind of thing.
You have to worry about your body temperature. Just, I don't know, it just looks really cool.
No, I think it's good, and that was everything from Nintendo.
Yeah,
that was like, they spent a long time talking about Pokemon, and then a long time talking about not that long talking about Zelda.
Not that long. They spent the entire day talking about Zelda.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, we kind of knew this going in, right? Because like Nintendo basically said that the next thing that they're doing is the NX, and that, as they said, they weren't talking about the NX. There wasn't really a lot they could say.
Yeah.
Like, there's not really, I guess, heaps to show off. I'm surprised there wasn't more 3DS stuff, honestly.
Well, they did show off amiibos for Zelda.
That doesn't count. We just assume there's amiibos for everything.
But yeah, I honestly, if we're going to sum up this year's E3, I think Nintendo dropped the ball hard on this one.
I don't think Nintendo even caught the ball in the first place.
I don't think. Yeah, I think they were.
They didn't even make it to the stadium on this one.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't great. It really wasn't great. I mean, I think like when you talk about E3 this year, it's not really the big three, it's the big two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 and a bit.
And I think that's fair to say. The thing then to decide is which of the big two won.
And
I'm struggling with this. I think Sony put on a better show, but Xbox had the biggest news in the fact that they were announcing Project Scorpio.
Yeah.
And that was something that came out of left field. Like people, it wasn't super leaked or
wasn't
anything.
that much about it out of left field. There was the whole thing running up to E3 was, okay, are we going to hear about the NX? Oh no. Are we going to hear about PlayStation's Neo?
4.5. Yeah.
Oh no. Well, all Microsoft had to do was, yes, we're working on a next-gen console. Done. They'd won, sort of thing.
Yeah.
No, I think that's fair, but I also think that the games that they did showcase where there was a strong roster there, and the fact that you're getting this Xbox Anywhere program bringing these games to PC, for me as a gamer, makes it more enticing. Like, PlayStation Show was really good, and there's a lot of games that I think look really cool, but I don't currently have a PlayStation 4. So, like, how am I supposed to get excited about these? Like, I get excited about spending like £200-300 on a the console. Like, no, that doesn't excite me. I'm sorry, Sony. It just doesn't.
It's just interesting how this is the first time I've not had a single console. Like, this is the first generation I've not had a console, and I've been okay. Like, I don't know. It feels like the only thing I feel pressure to get is the PS4. Yeah, I feel like a big boy. But like. I feel like the only thing I feel pressured towards is getting the PS4, but even then, like, it's probably because I want affordable VR, and it's still not going to be affordable.
Yeah.
Like, let's face it.
So who do you think won, Yaki?
Honestly, I really am excited for We Happy Few. Like, I think that honestly tips the scale towards Xbox for me. Like, I'm really excited for We Happy Few.
No, I think We Happy Few looks good. The way I see it, like, I think both did a really good show, and this doesn't normally happen. Normally, there's a clear winner.
Yeah.
I think both did a really good show. I would say that PS4, in terms of new IPs, even though some of them we've seen before, they have a much more interesting lineup. You know, we have Days Gone, Last Guardian, Horizon, Detroit, Death Stranding. Like, there's a load of them, whereas Xbox, they only really had for their own kind of IPs, Recore and Scalebound. But at the same time, I think, like, Xbox, the fact that they dropped a new console was really exciting. The games that they did show all look a lot of fun, and the fact that they've got this Xbox Anywhere, I'm really excited about. I'm excited to be able to play, you know, these games on computer. I'm excited to play this cross-platform with my friends who I know have Xboxes, because I don't game with them regularly, simply because, like, they'll have Overwatch on Xbox, I'll have it on PC. They'll have Gears of War on Xbox, I won't play it. Like, this kind of bridges a gap for me. So I can't really call this one.
It's a tough call. I mean, as I said, Sony had the better conference, but it was very, very much gaming focused. It's a case of, look, here's all the games type thing. Mm-hmm. Xbox was, here's some games, but here's some important information about the console and the whole console market going forward. Mm-hmm. So,
and I like the direction they're taking it in. So I think I agree with you in this point that what Xbox has kind of done was probably the winner in terms of
at least
media.
for grabbing headlines.
I guess, I mean, like, in terms of E3 being a press conference, Xbox had dropped the biggest news, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess by that logic, Xbox won. But even
we're all
then,
winners here.
Yeah.
We're all gamers and we're all winners.
So who was worse, Nintendo or EA?
Nintendo.
I think that's where we have to end.
Nintendo
Nintendo phoned it in, essentially.
Nintendo.
Yeah, okay, Nintendo were probably. I'm just clinging to my Wii U, just being like. No, I think Nintendo. They would have just been just as well not showing up and doing a Nintendo Direct, you know, a month down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they probably would have had more hype from that.